Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Exciting press conference after exciting press conference, Frank?
Well, it's exciting, but I don't like these press conferences. I really do not like it when it goes this way. I don't like all that language and all the stuff that goes down. Totally unnecessary, because we've got a really, really good competitive fight between Fabio and Big Baby. It's a very, very competitive fight.
Was it to be expected that something would happen? Perhaps not to the level and with the language that they used.
I mean, we've got security here. They're here for a reason, and it just seems it's happening a little bit too often now on some of these press conferences, and it needs to stop. I mean, the Border Control, what they fined him, 100,000 quid, Eubanks, for something stupid he done, and you know, this is not on.
Does it put some of the fight week events in jeopardy as well?
I think it's like putting, you know, I mean, a lot of people like to see all this rubbish, you know, and they think it's all like this stage, which it's not. It is unnecessary. We have a good fight. We've got a fight these two guys' styles will complement each other. It'll be an absolute complete war in the ring, which is where we want it to be.
This diss track's a bit confusing because Fabio is adamant that he hasn't made a song. Jarrell's adamant he's heard a song, Big Baby Killer, I think he said it was.
I have not even heard it. I mean, I certainly wouldn't. I doubt very much if I'll be listening to it. I haven't heard it, and you know, that still doesn't justify all that nonsense.
Like you said, it's a good fight. To expect there to be a war between the pair of them. I can't imagine Big Baby coming in, perhaps getting on his toes here at Portman Road.
Well, I tell you what, it's, you know, you look at it. You look at Fabio. He's not got an amateur background. He's fought on the white collar circuit, you know, tough guy contest, and look at what he's done in a very short space of time as a professional boxer. It's been brilliant. But this will be his toughest fight yet, and in my opinion.
And it's going to be packed to the rafters in here. I don't know if it's something that would have been sorted yet. Is it all going to be open? Are we going to have whole ground and the floor?
Sell this out, and the pitch. Yeah.
Expecting a raucous atmosphere then on.
It's going to be a great atmosphere because they'll get behind the local hero. You know, he's done brilliant for himself. You know, last year, fight of the year, him and Fraser Clark, and the second one was probably one of the knockouts of the year.
Is there any worry for you when it comes to Fabio's nose? I know it's something Jarrell mentioned in a couple of interviews. He didn't really have the chance to fight the second time round with Fraser because it was such a quick ending. But there's a bit of scar tissue on the nose, and it was a nose that kind of opened up during the 12-round war with Fraser.
Well, he's had plenty of time to heal.
Yeah. Right, moving on to what we saw on Saturday. Joyce, a close fight, but a defeat to Filip Hrgović. Where does this leave Joe, you think, Frank?
I think Joe's got to have a serious think about his future. He'll sit down with his family, his management, his trainer. I'll have a word with him as well, and he's got to make a real serious decision.
I mean, I was in his changing room after, and obviously he got the retirement questions from a few people. But he's adamant that, look, whilst he's enjoying it, obviously earning money out of it, that retirement just doesn't come into consideration.
Well, I hear all that, and that's something that we'll talk about when we meet. But I think it's unfair on him to be even answering questions like that immediately after such a tough night in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to Dillian, who was obviously a bit pissed off because he was like, this night is a night that I should have been involved in.
Should have been.
Joyce, Dillian White, despite Joe's defeat, is still a fight that kind of whets the appetite.
Yeah. But you know, we've got to let's let the dust settle and have the conversation with him first.
What fight do you think next for Filip Hrgović? Is there a fight that stands out to you?
There's lots of options, and I haven't had a chance to get stuck into that, but we will do this week when I get into the office and have a look. But there's some great options there. When the heavyweight division's flying at the moment, look, got this fight here, the fight Saturday. You know, a lot of controversy going on. There's, you know, good fights to be announced, more good fights to be announced in the next few weeks as well.
Yeah, brilliant time for the heavyweights as we're kind of getting the announcements now. You mentioned controversy. Jamie TKV, David Adelaide.
Yeah.
I know Ben Shalom said it was one of the worst decisions he's ever seen. Your take on what we saw?
I thought the referee. I didn't think he made a really good job of the fight from the beginning. It was quite a bit of a maul for about 4 or 5 rounds, and I didn't like the fact it was sort of degenerating that way. It could have been done. Could have been more stronger refereeing, and I thought when the stoppage, I genuinely, I thought I heard it when we were there, him saying break. He said, when I watched it back on TV, he said break twice and then push Jamie's hand away. He was just throwing his punch, momentum, didn't pull back. David, I'm not blaming him 1 second for that. Remember, I'm with David. And I think the referee, a lot of it was down to a bad night in the office for the referee. And it was a bad night in the afterwards, in the fight immediately afterwards, when I think he scored against. The way he scored the fight, as you said, was a close fight to start with between
98-92 to
never
never
in a million
2 rounds to Joe is
nuts.
Disgraceful for the work he's put in. It's a kick in the guts.
It's a nonsense. It was a close fight, and I'm not complaining about the decision, but he did not lose that by 6 rounds, that's for sure.
Yeah. I know Robert Smith said to, I'm not sure what outlet, that there'll be a meeting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Will that perhaps conclude in a rematch, or
I don't know. It depends what the board say. They're going to they'll look it back and see what's what.
Yeah. Obviously Ben Shalom was there. Did you get the chance to speak to each other, or did you cross paths?
Didn't even see him.
Okay. So I know he was wearing a hat. I was wondering if he was
wearing a hat
undercover.
I didn't see him. Balaclava.
Sneaking behind Queensbury lines.
I didn't see him. No.
Can I ask? Will you be at Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron?
Will I be there?
Yeah. Will you be making an appearance?
Maybe. I haven't made my mind up yet, to be honest.
Okay. Final one. What happens on Wednesday night, Arsenal, Real Madrid?
What happens on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Nothing, because it's on Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Yeah. So on Tuesday, though, Arsenal are going to kick ass.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank.